Hi, in this video we'll learn how to multiply the integers. So you only have to remember two rules. The product of two negative integers will always be positive. The product of two negative integers will always be positive. And the product of a positive and negative integer will always be negative. So these are the two rules which you have to memorize. Let's take a look at the first example. So first of all, what you have to do is you ignore the signs. You just multiply normally how you multiply. So 4 times 9 will be 36. And then you have to see the signs. So the product of two negative integers, we have two negative integers. So this will be the product of two and negative integers will be positive. So I don't have to write the positive sign in front of 36. So suppose if you have a number which is negative 7. This is a negative integer. For sure, this is a negative integer. Now how about this one? This is just 7. So we don't have any sign in front of 7. So it is always considered that this number is positive. So same here, you don't have to put the positive sign in front of a positive number. So the product of two negative integers will stay positive. So the answer will be 36. Now let's take a look at another example. Negative 4 times negative 6. So ignore the signs. They will always confuse you. First of all, you have to multiply. So 6 times 4 or 4 times 6 will be 24. So you write 24. And then you have to look at the signs. So you have two negative signs. The product of two negative integers will always be positive. So the final answer will stay positive. You don't have to write the positive sign in front of it. Let's take a look at this example. Negative 3 times 9. By the way, I have included the negative numbers in the parentheses so that you don't get confused by looking at the sign next to each other, like two different signs. So this is multiplication, this is negative sign. So most of the people get confused. So that's why I've just separated it by the parentheses. So this one is negative 3 times 9. So first of all, you ignore the sign and just multiply. 3 times 9 will give me 27. So I will write 27. Now this time I have a negative integer and a positive integer because 9, it will be considered as positive since it doesn't have any sign in front of it. So this will be positive. The product of a negative integer and a positive integer will be negative. So I'll put the negative sign in front of my answer. So the final answer is negative 27. Now next example, 12 times negative 10. So first thing is you ignore the sign, just multiply the numbers. 12 times 10 will give me 120. And then I have to look at the sign. So this is a positive integer, this is a negative integer. The product of a positive and a negative integer will always be negative. So I'll put the negative sign in front of my answer. Next is negative 7 times 2. So first of all, you multiply the numbers. 7 times 2 will give me 14. And then I will see that this is a negative integer, this is a positive integer. The product of negative and a positive integer will be negative. So if you have any negative sign, if you just have one negative sign, then you will put the negative sign in front of your answer. If you have two negative signs, you will change the sign to positive. So the final answer will be positive. Now let's look at this example. 15 times negative 1. So we'll multiply the numbers first. 15 times 1 will be 15. And then 15 is a positive integer, negative 1 is negative integer. So the product of a positive and a negative integer will be negative. So I'll put the negative sign in front of my answer. Next is 11 times negative 8. So you multiply first. 11 times 8 will be 88. And then this is a positive integer. This is a negative integer. So the product of positive and negative integer will be negative. Last question is negative 6 times negative 3. So first of all, you multiply. 6 times 3 will give me 18. And then I have two negative signs. So my answer will be in positive because the product of a negative integer, two negative integers is positive.